Everything set up. Straighten my hat. Okay. Go close that. Go here. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Okay. Close that. Go here. Check 1 2. Check. Okay. So. Oh, gotta start off right. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. I'm Ryan, and I sell stuff online. So we have our sort of our standard formula today. I've got one sale. That's pretty good. And I got a handful of stuff that I scored yesterday at the other thrift store here in town that's not Goodwill. And some thoughts moving forward, maybe. So, anyway, let's go with that today. First up is my one sale. It is a model. I think I showcased this last week. I haven't had this that long. Picked it up for $2 at a yard sale, I think it was. And this went for $20 shipped. So, 2010 Dodge Challenger RT Classic. I think it has all the parts. I think they're still bagged up. So it was just opened. So that is today's sale. So, which is fine. Made some money. Got rid of a sizable thing. And I'll get it shipped out. So the stuff that I found yesterday, just mostly books. So music books and a couple other stuff I grab every time. So first up is this Harmonic Materials in Tonal Music, Part 1, Second Edition, a programmed course. I'm not sure what this is. I'm not a music guy. I know enough that to look up everything that's not beginner piano books, and even then those may be worth grabbing as a lot if you can get them cheap enough. But this was a little off the wall. I think I saw something similar sell for $20 to $30. So I got a little more research. There's some of this title that doesn't sell certain editions, but this edition seemed to sell. So it was worth grabbing to try out. Next up, got one more music thing. The ABCs of Cello, the Absolute Beginner. It has a CD with it. This seemed to go $10 to $15. So I snagged it. Again, non-piano. I would say non-guitar, but I think you need to look up just about any guitar stuff, because sometimes beginner guitar stuff can sell, but you got to know which ones are which. But this is cello. So, non-common instruments. There was a few other. There was a saxophone book that I looked up and didn't get. And I would say advanced music is always tend to worth looking up. So, but sometimes you mess up. I've got some. I wouldn't call it a mess up. I've got some guitar books back here, some guitar tab books, and in my experience, most of them sell, but I'm going to have to lot those up because they weren't doing real well individually when I thought they would. Next up is a consistent seller for me, and that is Wheel of Time books, particularly the hardcovers. I have never failed to sell a Wheel of Time book. Some beat up paperback, $5 to $7. at minimum. So sometimes you got to sell the paperbacks. You got to line them up. But I have consistently sold those. Hardcovers, usually at least $10. Yes, often more. I have sold some of them for $20. This may be, I'll have to look it up. But some of these are maybe $15 to $20 books still. They are printing them out. They are still in relatively decent demand, but brand new. They're I think $20 to $30. They can be that expensive if you're just going to buy them off the shelf. And this is a book, and this is a series that is still in demand. So, as mediocre to bad as I heard the series was from hardcore fans of the books, I read the first 3. They're good. They are work. Jordan's a decent writer when he's not writing Conan, and I'm not going to go into that anymore. But this is book 10 of the Wheel of Time, and so 1, read them. I'm working my way through them. 2, buy them and resell them because you'll be able to. The other one I got is a prequel to the series. New Spring, the novel, Wheel of Time at the beginning. I have sold this paperback before, so I was happy to snag the hardcover. And when you buy these, if you're at a thrift store or something and they have different pricing for children and adults, always ask if you can get the children's pricing on these as young adults. Some stores, and sometimes it depends on the person who's running the cash register, interpret young adult. Typically, in my experience, young adult books are set as children's books, and you can get them priced that way. So you can get them a little bit cheaper. So that was a good one there. One more. R.L. Stine, Fear Street. There are editions of this not this book, but there are Fear Street books, kind of like the Goosebumps that sell for. I've sold certain ones for $10 to $15. They are worth lotting up. If you get a set, so I can get a little more. I'm gonna stash this one away because I know that if I get 2 or 3 more for $1 or less, I can make some money flipping them. So those are worth grabbing. I'll get tossed over there. Now, other than that, fun find from a couple of weeks ago that I didn't show you. That thrift store, it's one of the ones they bag up the toys, and it's irritating because they bag up if they would let you root through things that you get them. But G.I. Joe Ferret, I'm keeping this for right now. It's missing the little linkage here to make where this would turn the wheels, but the shell is in good condition. I've seen where these bits are broken off, so the shell's in good shape. Missing all the bits and bobs on the top, but that's fine. And I wonder if I may have a part for it, and I will have to check that out because I may have this front gun. So anyway, this is one of those. I think I got in a bag for $3. I had a couple other things in there, but it's one of those you always feel you have to rescue them. Not like somebody else wouldn't have, but nice to snag a vintage G.I. Joe thing occasionally. I haven't had a big G.I. Joe or Transformers score. I had the Optimus and a couple pieces, but I haven't gotten a box full of stuff. It's been a few years since I've had a big score of the nice 1980s, 70s, 80s toys, and I think I may have to start share some stories about some good finds. They're out there. Don't get discouraged when you're on those Facebook groups where somebody comes up with a big score, because those are big Facebook groups. It's bound to happen. So that's what it is. And if you're watching this and you want some instructional stuff, if you're asking how I do it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave a question. I'm perfectly willing to answer it later on. And we can go from there. I'm perfectly willing to help folks out. This isn't hard, and I'm thinking about working sort of my own personal instruction video on how to do eBay and Facebook Marketplace. At least in my experience of what has worked for me so far as a small time seller.